Is it Jennifer? Tristan figured it out at once. No one else would do such a thing other than her. That's right. It's her, but you don't have to worry. I don't intend to let her off. I've already reported her. Besides, I've also collected enough evidence to prove that Whitley Group has been evading taxes. Sophie would not let Jennifer off so easily since she was daring enough to slander her. All right, let's leave this aside first. You must be hungry after being locked up here for so long. We should get you something to eat. No matter what, Whitley Group would have to pay for what they had done. Yup, I'm famished. I haven't eaten anything in a long time. Felix drove the couple to the nearest restaurant and said, "The two of you go ahead. I need to pick Isabel up at the airport later, so I won't be eating with you guys." Isabel would be returning from Coandria that day, and he had promised to fetch her from the airport. "You haven't had dinner yet, have you? Eat with us before you go. Isabel's plane hasn't landed yet anyway." It wasn't necessary to reach the airport that early, as he would still have to wait. "It's all right. I need to save some space in my stomach to eat with her later." In-flight meals usually tasted horrible, and Felix was certain that Isabel would not have eaten much. There was no way he would let go of such a good opportunity. "By the way, regarding Whitley Group, would it be okay if I deal with them tomorrow?" All Felix wanted to do for the rest of the day was to spend time with Isabel. "You don't have to do anything about them. I will handle it myself. Don't worry and enjoy yourself," Sophie said. It was her own problem to deal with in the first place. Since Jennifer was targeting her, it was only right for her to be the one returning the favor. Otherwise, the frustration would be too much for her to bear. "Yes, you don't have to bother yourself with it. I will personally make sure it gets settled." Tristan did not intend to let the matter slide since it concerned Sophie. "Okay then. I shall make a move first." Felix drove off after saying that. Even though Isabel would only arrive 2 hours later, he decided to head to the airport and wait there, as it would take him around an hour to reach. The restaurant which Tristan had brought Sophie to was one of the more popular ones in that area. When the restaurant manager heard that Tristan was there, he came out to welcome the man at once. "Mr. Tristan, I've reserved a table for you. Let me take you there," the manager said with an ingratiating smile on his face. It was a pleasant surprise and great honor to have Tristan dining at their restaurant. As such, it was no question that they would have to provide the best service possible. "Serve the dishes as quickly as you can. My girlfriend is hungry," Tristan said. They did not have time to waste at the restaurant. "Mr. Tristan, don't worry. Your food is ready. We will serve it once you get seated." The manager had instructed the kitchen to prepare the couple's food the moment he heard that they would be visiting. Tristan merely nodded placidly. He led Sophie to the table and pulled a chair for her before pouring her a glass of water. They were the only two people remaining in the private room after the manager left to check on their food. "Jennifer has gone too far this time. I will definitely make sure she pays for it." Tristan could still feel his blood boiling at the thought of what Jennifer had done. "All right, don't be angry. I don't intend to let her off either. Her good days are coming to an end." Neither Tristan nor Sophie was to be trifled with. They could turn a blind eye to insignificant people. However, they would not go easy on those who dared to mess with them. The two of them were still having their meal when Timothy arrived. That put the restaurant manager in an awkward spot. "Mr. Whitley, as you are probably aware, Mr. Tristan is in the middle of his meal, and we don't dare to disturb him. It seems that he's not in a very good mood today. Even if you get to speak to him, I don't think anything will change." The manager could read people well, and it was obvious to him that Tristan was upset. Timothy was at a loss as to what he should do. He knew that his daughter's actions would cause the end of Whitley Group. Jennifer was the daughter he had always been proud of, and he could hardly believe that she had caused such a huge trouble. Needless to say, Tristan and Sophie were aware that Timothy was outside. However, they did not want to see him at all. "Eat more. You're eating too little." Although Tristan knew she did not have much appetite, it was important for her to get the necessary nutrition. I'm fine. I was indeed starving just now, but I'm already full. Sophie was not a huge eater, and that amount of food was enough for her. Okay. Tristan kept that in mind. Both of them left the private room after he was finished with his food. When they walked out, they saw Timothy waiting there. Tristan remained expressionless. Timothy immediately stepped forward and stopped them from leaving. Mr. Tristan, I'm sure that there must be some misunderstanding. Whitley Group. Mr. Whitley, if you have anything to say, save it to tell the legal authorities. My girlfriend is very tired, and I need to take her home to rest. She has just been released after being locked up at the Department of Justice for 1 whole day. Upon hearing that, Timothy knew that things would not be resolved so easily. Mr. Tristan, Jennifer wasn't in her right mind because she likes you too much. On account of the friendship between our families, please spare my daughter and Whitley Group. Timothy was certain that it would be the end of Whitley Group if Tristan was unwilling to relent. Does liking me give her an excuse to do bad things? You're making it sound like I'm the one responsible for this. Regardless of the reason, Tristan would not allow anyone to hurt the woman he loved. Mr. Tristan, no matter what, please let her off. I beg you. She's still young and immature. Jennifer was Timothy's only daughter, and he did not want to see her future destroyed. She's already 28. Is that considered young? Tristan let out a mirthless laugh. How can she be considered young when 18 is the legal age of adulthood? I suppose she has limited brain capacity. That's enough. I've already told you that my girlfriend is tired and needs rest. All we did was report Whitley Group. I won't interfere in other matters, so you don't have to worry. As for Jennifer, if she didn't do anything, she will be fine. Tristan put his arm around Sophie's shoulders after saying that. He did not want to continue wasting time entertaining the older man. It had been a long and exhausting day for Sophie. Ms. Tanner, I beg you. Jennifer made a mistake because of her foolishness. Please give her one more chance. Seeing that Tristan was firm in his stance, Timothy turned his attention to Sophie instead. Sophie halted in her tracks and replied, Don't worry. All I did was give the evidence to the legal authorities. It is up to them how they want to handle it. That's not within my control. Sophie's response was exactly the same as Tristan's. Timothy's heart sank as he watched the couple walk away from the restaurant. Deep down in his heart, he knew he would not be able to save Whitley Group. However, even if that was the case, he still hoped to get Jennifer out of trouble. That was the only thing he could do for her as her father. Left with no choice, Timothy could only bring Jennifer to the Lombard residence. Perhaps William was the only person who could save Jennifer at that moment. Jennifer did not expect things to end up like that, and only understood the gravity of the situation when they arrived at the Lombard residence. Dad, is Mr. Tristan really that heartless to me? She asked incredulously, refusing to believe Tristan would not even give her any chance. Jennifer, we're about to lose Whitley Group now. Do you still think he has a hint of affection for you? Stop dreaming. As your father, I will support whatever you do, but you really made a mistake this time. Not only did Jennifer bring destruction to Whitley Group, but she also ruined herself. William knew the purpose of the father-daughter duo's visit. He was speechless for a while upon seeing the state that they were in. Old Mr. Lombard, you have always adored Jennifer, right? Please help her. She's still young and doesn't even know she has done something wrong. All this happened because she likes Mr. Tristan really much. Timothy briefly explained the situation to William. He seemed to have aged a lot in a day, as their company, Whitley Group, which originally had a firm foothold in Gypsdale, had fallen apart. William pondered for a moment after listening to their words. Both of you should know what Tristan is like. When he's pissed off, he listens to no one, including me. He was clear about his son's temperament. Besides, the Whitleys had offended the people Tristan cared about the most this time. Old Mr. Lombard, if you don't help Jennifer, she will be doomed. I'm getting old. I'm fine if I get imprisoned, but that will not be the case for Jennifer. Her life will be ruined. Jennifer had been sitting beside Timothy and listening to the conversation. She was filled with nothing but regret when she saw her father constantly begging for help. I really shouldn't have been so willful. Dad wouldn't have to beg for help like this if it wasn't for me. How can I not understand my own dad? I really don't deserve to be his daughter. All right, both of you should head back first. I'll talk about this matter to Tristan, but I can't promise anything. Tristan rarely changed his mind once he made his decision. Since William had said so, Timothy could only leave with Jennifer. After coming out of the Lombard residence, Jennifer burst into tears. Seeing her in such a state made Timothy's heart ache. He patted Jennifer on the shoulder and comforted her. Don't cry. Things have come to this state. We can only find a way to solve it. Crying won't do any good. I'm sorry, Dad. It's all because of me. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have to defuse the situation like this. Jennifer understood that she was wrong. She wondered if it was too late for her only to realize it now. I'm so sorry, Dad. Timothy gently hugged her. You're still young. Most of the time, regret is useless once you make a mistake, but you have to remember not to repeat it. Your mom and I are getting old. I'm afraid we can't protect you anymore. Without Whitley Group, the Whitley family could no longer speak with authority in Gypsdale. By then, no one would be able to protect Jennifer. Dad, is there nothing else we can do to save Whitley Group? Jennifer was clear that Whitley Group was everything to Timothy. Timothy did not want to continue the topic, nor did he want to make Jennifer feel burdened. Don't bother yourself about that. How about this? Let's go home now, and you will go abroad immediately. Timothy could only think of that to keep Jennifer safe. What? Jennifer was surprised when Timothy told her to leave the country. She couldn't bear to leave her family just like that. No way, Dad. I'm not going abroad. I want to stay here with all of you. We are a family. I want to be with you guys no matter what happens. Jennifer's parents had been doting on her since she was young. There was no way she could leave them at such a crucial moment. Timothy shook his head. Jennifer, this is the only thing I can do for you. Just listen to me, okay? Get your passport after you get home and leave the country immediately. Once I settle everything here, I'll bring your mom over to see you. Really? Will you guys go to see me? Jennifer only realized how serious the matter was now. Yes. We'll see you when I'm done settling everything here. Let's not talk too much and go back now. Timothy had made up his mind. No matter what consequences he had to bear, he would take it all by himself and not let his only daughter suffer. Meanwhile, Felix had picked Isabel up at the airport. Besides him, many of Isabel's fans were at the airport, too. She was indeed quite popular now. Isabel grinned from ear to ear once he saw Felix. After handing her luggage to her assistant, she left with him. How long have you been waiting? She asked, thinking the man must have been waiting there all along. It wasn't that long. It doesn't matter how long I have to wait as long as I can see you the soonest. Felix only wanted to see her. I thought of going with you at first. He felt bad for not being able to accompany Isabel as it was the first time she had gone overseas to shoot a variety show. Isabel held his face and said, "It's okay. I wasn't there to play anyway. I was there to work. You have your things to take care of, too. There's no need for you to accompany me all the time." She enjoyed the way they got along with each other currently. But you have so many fans now. I can't feel at ease for letting you travel alone. Felix was worried about her at the thought of the crazy fans. Don't worry. Have you forgotten that my company has assigned me an assistant? It's not like I'm all by myself. Isabel agreed that some fans would indeed go too far, but she would take good care of herself all the time. In-flight meals aren't delicious. I bet you haven't eaten, right? Let's go. I'll get you some food, said Felix. Okay, Isabel replied obediently. While Felix held her hand as they walked outside, She fished out her phone and saw dozens of missed calls from Sandra. There are so many missed calls from Sandra. Did something happen? She thought it was too much and quickly returned Sandra's call. After she learned what happened, her face contorted. Damn it! Why wouldn't Jennifer give up? Did she think she could make Uncle Tristan fall in love with her by doing that? How can there be such a shameless woman in this world? Isabel would never let Jennifer off for framing Sophie. Seeing the furious look on her face, Felix dared not to utter a word. He purposely didn't bring the matter up just now so that she could enjoy her meal with peace of mind. However, it seemed that there was no way they could enjoy the meal anymore. You already know about this, right? Why didn't you tell me? Isabel questioned Felix. Felix said innocently, Sophie's all right. I figured I'd bring you to eat first. I know Jennifer is a bad person, but Mr. Tristan will handle it. That woman is not worthy of your anger. Isabel nodded. Yeah, this makes sense. Fine. I want to visit Sophie first. If I don't see her, I'll feel uneasy. Would you look at the time now, Ms. Lombard? You will only disturb her rest if you go and visit her now. Mr. Tristan and I personally went to pick her up. She's really fine. Sophie is such a strong woman. Who can do anything to her? Isabel bit her lower lip. All right, I understand. Let's go and eat, then. I'll visit her tomorrow. Isabel had wanted to visit Sophie now. However, when she thought of her uncle's temper, she decided against it. She couldn't afford to anger him. Meanwhile, tears flowed down Kaylee's face as she looked at Jennifer, who was packing her luggage. Why did things turn out this way? One moment our entire family was living peacefully here, but the next moment, we have to flee overseas. Is there really no other way? Timothy shook his head. If there was still a way, he wouldn't have done this. He could only send Jennifer abroad now. Then he would shoulder everything else. If you're worried, you can go with her. There was no way they wouldn't feel worried about sending their daughter to a foreign place. Then what about you? Why don't we all leave together? She could not bear to let her husband stay here alone. No. I can only arrange for you guys to leave secretly. If we all leave, what will happen to Whitley Group? Why care about Whitley Group now? We won't be able to salvage it. The safety of our family is the most important matter here. Once they were overseas, the local legal authorities wouldn't be able to do anything to them. We are a huge target if the three of us leave together. You know how ruthless Tristan is. He will never forgive Jennifer this time. Timothy had already handled all of the necessary preparations. After Kaylee and Jennifer packed their luggage, Timothy drove them to the airport. However, upon arrival, they were stopped by a group of policemen. Hello, are you Timothy Whitley and Jennifer Whitley? Immediately, Timothy's face paled. Do we really have no chance of escaping at all? He clenched his fists. None of them could leave now that these policemen were here. Excuse me. Regarding Whitley Group's tax evasion and other alleged illegal activities, I would have to invite you to follow us back to assist in our investigation. Timothy closed his eyes. It's too late. Everything's over. Does my only daughter have to go to jail? Okay. We will follow you back. There was nothing much Timothy could say at this juncture. Dad. Jennifer uttered in despair. She finally realized that her pursuit of love had hurt her entire family. She knew clearly that there were indeed illegal dealings in Whitley Group. Previously, she had tried to frame Sophie. Yet, now everything was real. She did not know what to do anymore. Timothy gave her a pat on the shoulder. Jennifer, remember, you have nothing to do with Whitley Group. It's all my doing. Do you understand? Timothy told Jennifer before he got in the police car. Dad. I played a part in everything. How can I put all the blame on Dad? Do you understand? If I'm really going to jail, you have to listen to your mother. Take good care of her and don't make her upset. Darling. Kaylee burst into tears. Is there really no hope anymore? Isn't our family very influential in Gypsdale? Is there no one willing to help us? All right, stop crying. We can only accept our fate at this point. This is how the world works. It's useless to regret and try to hide from what you've done. Meanwhile, Sophie was lying on the bed while Tristan was on a call outside the room. Don't worry, Mr. Tristan. I've already brought them back to the police station. None of them can escape. Sean's voice rang out from the other end of the line. Tristan had asked Sean to handle this matter because Felix needed to accompany Isabel, who had just returned. He would never let Jennifer off the hook for doing such a thing. Knowing she was going to flee, he had sent someone to cut off her escape route. Okay, I understand. Thank you for your hard work. Continue to keep an eye on them. Whitley Group will cease to exist in Gypsdale. Understood. It's late. You should get some rest. With that, Sean hung up the call. Jennifer must be tired of living. Sophie has evidence of Whitley Group's illegal doings. Even if she doesn't have any, Tristan will never let anyone hurt the woman he loves. Jennifer is seeking her own death. No one can save her this time. After hanging up the call, Tristan entered Sophie's room. He walked to her bed upon seeing that she was still awake. Why aren't you sleeping yet? You didn't manage to rest this entire day, no? You must be tired. You should rest. I'm fine. It's only 10. I won't be able to fall asleep. She would usually sleep around 11. Oh, you should give Sandra a call. She was so scared she burst into tears, Tristan said. He had almost forgotten about this matter. Oh, right. How can I forget such an important matter? She retrieved her phone and immediately gave Sandra a call to update the latter. Then she called Simon. Knowing that Sophie was fine, Simon and Sandra were finally relieved. After seeing her hang up her last call, Tristan got on the bed and leaned against the headboard, then let Sophie lean on his shoulder. Sophie, your friends sound nice. They were really worried about you. Sandra and Simon really cared about Sophie. That's right. I think they're really nice people too. Sophie could feel the warmth in her heart. I don't think my family members would even be that worried about me. Her friends were really worried about her. Sophie raised her head. What do you plan to do with Jennifer? I'll let her stay in jail for a few years. Tristan replied calmly. He was really sick of Jennifer. What about you? What do you want to do? Ultimately, he valued Sophie's opinion because the person Jennifer had offended was her. Sophie did not want to be so ruthless, but she wanted Jennifer to pay for what she had done. In the interrogation room, Jennifer was covered in a cold sweat. Naturally, she was involved in everything related to Whitley Group. However, she remembered Timothy's words and denied all charges. Timothy took all the responsibility for Jennifer's offenses instead. Unfortunately, the evidence provided by Sophie was too convincing. It was proven that Jennifer played a vital part in this case. Therefore, the interrogation went on. I already said I don't know anything about what you guys talked about. How many times do I have to repeat myself? Jennifer got impatient. Being detained in the interrogation room was too stressful for her. If the questioning did not stop, she would go insane. The interrogator noticed her mental breakdown, but they were not in a hurry as they said, Ms. Whitley, we already have proof of your crime. Not admitting guilty won't help. We know you're getting annoyed, so why don't you confess to everything? Then we can all get some rest. Truth be told, the police were also tired. They had to stay here with her and waste their time on her. I don't know anything, so what do you want me to confess? Jennifer was adamant about denying it. Okay. Looks like we can only show you something. The interrogator was fed up. They just wanted to close this case as soon as possible and go home to rest. When Jennifer saw those documents, her hands trembled. No. This isn't my doing. These have nothing to do with me. Someone must be trying to frame me. Jennifer turned pale. Even so, she would not admit to anything. There was no way she would confess to such a thing. Jennifer really did not want to go to jail. Timothy had already been incarcerated. It would be the end of the Whitley family if she were to join her father. Ms. Whitley, these are the evidence. Even if you deny it, you can't change the fact that you've committed a crime, the interrogator said. They used some tricks and finally got Jennifer to confess to her crimes. She could not withstand the pressure any longer. The interrogator shook their head at the pale-looking woman in front of them. All right, I'm done. Lock her up. In the past, Whitley Group had been very magnificent. Everyone had always been filled with envy at the mention of Jennifer. Yet, today, she had fallen from grace. One should not commit crimes. Once they do, they are bound to pay for their crimes someday. Early in the morning, Isabel came to Sophie's condominium with breakfast. Tristan had a cold expression as he looked at the uninvited guest at the door. Can't this girl sleep longer on such a cold day? Why must she come here? Uncle Tristan, is Sophie awake? I brought her favorite breakfast to share with her, Isabel asked carefully. She knew Tristan did not welcome her presence. However, she had no choice. Isabel only wanted to visit Sophie and see if the latter was okay, and that was it. She's up. Tristan's response was curt. He initially did not want to let Isabel in, but since she brought Sophie's favorite breakfast, he allowed her to enter. Isabel and Felix entered the unit together and spotted Sophie coming out of her bedroom. Sophie, I bought your favorite food for breakfast. Come and eat, Isabel said with a wide smile. Didn't you just return to the country? Why didn't you get some more rest at home? What are you doing here so early in the morning? Sophie asked. Isabel should be very tired after returning from Coandria. She did not need to drop by. I heard something happened to you, so I couldn't sleep. That damned Jennifer is a lunatic. Isabel was incredibly furious. Why is there such a trashy person in the world? All right, that's enough. Why are you so angry? Since she's done something bad, she will have to pay for it, Felix placated Isabel, seeing that she was so mad. It was not worth it to get so angry at someone unimportant. I know, but I'm still pissed. How dare she frame Sophie? I want to rip her into pieces. Anyway, has she confessed? Isabel asked Felix. She was too busy worrying about Sophie and did not get to know much about this incident. Felix nodded. She has. Timothy wanted to shoulder all the responsibility, but it was not that simple. Jennifer was indeed involved. Since Jennifer did take part in it, there was no way she could escape all responsibilities. All right, you don't have to bother with this case anymore, Felix. Just accompany Isabel. I already have Sean on the task, Tristan said. Sean was a lawyer and also the best candidate to follow up on the case. Felix was touched. He never expected Tristan to be so thoughtful. Uncle Tristan, you're the best. Isabel was also moved. She and Felix had not spent time together for a week now. The four of them ate breakfast together, and Felix cleaned the table once they were finished. Is everything okay at Tanner Group? Is there anyone who should be kicked out after this incident? Yes, and that'd be James. James was also involved in the incident this time, so they could not spare him. Sophie had an indifferent expression on her face. In the past, she did not think of doing anything to James. Yet little did she expect him to work together with Jennifer. Since that was the case, she could not let him be anymore. You can't let him off the hook, Felix said. They must not let a traitor run free. After the meal, Tristan brought Sophie to handle James' matters. Soon, James was arrested by the police. Upon seeing Sophie, James immediately knelt on the floor. Ms. Tanner, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Please give me another chance. I won't do this again. James begged on his knees, although he was already old. I promise. I know what I did was wrong. Jennifer forced me to do it. She even promised to double my salary. At that point, James could only think of keeping himself safe. He could not do anything about how Jennifer would end up. James, haven't I warned you before? You could have retired peacefully and enjoyed your pension. Why did you have to do this kind of thing? Sophie lifted her eyebrow in a beautiful arch, but her expression was incredibly frosty. You also know that Tanner Group is Grandpa's hard work and effort. How dare you harm the company? Do you think I will show you mercy? James was enraged. Sophie, don't go overboard. No matter what, I've worked for old Mr. Tanner in the past. How could you do this to me? I have devoted many years of service working for the Tanner Group. How can she be so merciless? Is that so? How dare you bring up my grandpa? If you're truly grateful to my grandpa, you should know it was because of his benevolence that a not very brilliant person like you can take on the role of a financial manager. Yet what did you do in return? James snorted coldly. You weren't even born when I was making a living along with old Mr. Tanner. Do you really believe you're doing the right thing by mistreating us who have made great contributions after old Mr. Tanner passed away? You ungrateful brat. Why do I have to beg her desperately since she isn't going to let me go? Isn't that completely unnecessary? How dare you call her ungrateful? All right, there's no need to say so much to him, Sophie. Leave it for the police to deal with him. There are always people who feel that the whole world is against them. Tristan reckoned it was meaningless to continue the conversation since they did not see eye to eye. Mr. Tristan, James was filled with nothing but regret now. However, there was nothing he could do. It was impossible for him to escape since others had dirt on him. Take him away, Tristan said to the people behind him. Miss Sophie, I was wrong. Please let me off for my old time's sake with old Mr. Tanner. Ha! Sophie could not even bother sparing him a glance. How dare he mention my grandpa at this point? Some distance away, James was still shouting. However, no one paid any attention to him. All right, you don't have to let such a person spoil your mood. The law would surely punish James since he had violated it. Don't worry. I'm fine. He's just someone insignificant. When they were about to leave, Jennifer was led outside in handcuffs. She seemed to be getting transferred to another place to be locked up. Jennifer gritted her teeth when she saw them. Yet, she did not dare to look at Tristan, whom she liked, in her disheveled state. Tristan was indifferent when seeing her. It was as though he was looking at a stranger. Jennifer understood at that point that Tristan had never liked her. Moreover, he did not have an ounce of sympathy for the current state she was in. Perhaps he might even think that it served her right. Do you really not have any feelings for me, Mr. Tristan? Jennifer could not help but ask even though she reckoned she had given up on him. Tristan finally looked at her. Didn't I tell you before, Jennifer? I've never liked you, Tristan answered coldly and straightforwardly. Jennifer's lips curled into a smile. However, it was a very bitter one. Do you think my current situation serves me right? Why? Why can't you feel how much I like you? What's so great about Sophie? Jennifer asked indignantly. She refused to accept the reality no matter what. She had sacrificed so much, yet he had never spared her a glance. Everything about her is great. Even if she has any flaws, she will always be adorable in my eyes because I love her. That was the difference between someone he loved and someone he did not love. Tristan could accept everything about Sophie because of love. For someone Tristan did not love, it had nothing to do with him no matter how perfect she was. He would be unconcerned and would not even bother to look at her. Jennifer had completely given up on him. I truly wish you would lie to me once. Maybe I wouldn't feel so pathetic now if you said you had liked me a little bit. All Jennifer could feel was despair. She felt as if her entire heart had shattered. Yet, there was nothing she could do. You've won, Sophie. Finally, Jennifer's gaze fell on her. She's really amazing to be able to get Tristan to fall for her like this. No other woman can walk into Tristan's heart. Jennifer, haven't I warned you already? You asked for it. You can't blame anyone. Jennifer deserved to end up like this for trying to set Sophie up. Moreover, she did those things herself. which made her a bigger sinner. Ms. Whitley, it's almost time. You have to leave now, the law enforcer beside her reminded. Jennifer gradually walked forward and did not turn her head back again. She knew Tristan would not spare an ounce of sympathy for her. After all, he was truly heartless to other women. Sophie leaned against a chair after coming out of the Department of Justice. It's all over. Jennifer has gotten her punishment, and she will undoubtedly spend some time in jail. But why am I not happy? What's wrong? Nothing. I just don't feel very happy after everything has been settled. They aren't worth thinking about since they're strangers. Tristan started the engine and drove her to Tanner Group. When the employees of Tanner Group saw Sophie, they greeted her as usual. Sophie and Tristan arrived at Victor's office. Ms. Sophie, everything is settled. Whitley Group is also done for, Victor reported. Yes. Everything's over. Sophie nodded. She had expected this outcome. It must have been hard on you, Ms. Sophie. Just relax for these few days. You don't have to worry at all since Tanner Group has me. Victor was capable enough to manage Tanner Group well. I want to start an executive meeting, so get ready. No matter what, James was a senior employee of Tanner Group. Sophie had to give an explanation now that this incident had occurred. Otherwise, the employees would probably not work for the Tanner Group wholeheartedly even if they stayed. Are you sure, Ms. Sophie? Yes. Just make the necessary arrangement now. Sophie had come here mainly for this. Victor went to make the preparations, leaving Tristan and Sophie in the office. Let me accompany you later. Tristan only had this one request. He wanted to be by her side even though he could not offer any help. Sure. You don't have to worry at all. Sophie truly trusted the senior executives who had stayed until now. Everyone in the conference room was fully aware of the matters that had happened in the past 2 days. They knew James had wronged Tanner Group. In fact, Tanner Group had been progressively better ever since Sophie took over the company. They were also receiving better benefits. They all felt that James should not have done that. Ms. Sophie, don't worry. Everyone here cares deeply about Tanner Group. No matter what happens in the future, we will go through it together. They would not do something like what James had done since they were different from him. Sophie stood up. I'm very grateful for everyone's contribution to Tanner Group. We will work hard together in the future to bring the company to higher heights. James was an exception. I believe everyone wouldn't do something like that, but I promise I won't disappoint you all as long as everyone continues doing a great job. Tanner Group will only get better from here on. If there are any problems, you must let me know. I will definitely help solve it with everyone. Sophie could not tolerate people like James. I would have helped to solve the problem if James had informed me of it. Clearly, he had an ulterior motive. One of the senior executives took the lead and said, "Thank you, Ms. Sophie." Yes. Thank you. The others chimed in. They were already content with the current state of affairs of Tanner Group. Sophie had managed the company well. They could focus on their work without any worries. Isn't this how people behave? They won't do anything excessive when they know how to be content and not have unreasonable demands. Everyone was satisfied with Sophie's promise. Victor also stood up. That's right. Does everyone have faith that Tanner Group will continue to get better in the future with all our hard work? Yes. Tanner Group will only get better. Their future and lives would only be more secure if Tanner Group became better. They strongly believed that things would only become better and better. After the executive meeting ended, Sophie headed back to her office with Victor following after her. Ms. Sophie, everyone is working with great enthusiasm now, so you don't have to worry at all. The most important thing for a corporation is loyalty and team spirit. As long as there are these two things, the corporation will certainly succeed. Victor, I'm rather busy lately, so I don't always have time to be here. Help everyone out no matter what happens and don't let them feel disheartened. That was the most important. Don't worry. I'll be there to help as long as I am aware of any issues they may be having. It was his job as the general manager to take care of the employees. Right then, a phone call came from Arius. Seeing that it was Arius' call, Sophie ended her conversation with Victor. You can go on with your work now. I need to take this call. Sure. After Victor left, Sophie answered the call. What's wrong? Are you busy now? Come here if you're not. A problem came up with the medical association. All right, I got it. I'll be there right away. After Sophie hung up the call, she walked toward Tristan. A problem came up at the International Medical Association. I need to go check on it now. Do you want to come with me or head back first? Tristan had spent the whole day accompanying her. I'll go with you. I'm pretty free today. He had to go and lend a hand since there was a problem on Barney's end. Okay, let's go. Tristan drove to Arius' mansion. Barney and Arius were already there. When Barney saw Sophie, he flashed her a bright smile. Why are you here? Hasn't Sophie been very busy recently? Forget that we weren't able to offer any help after knowing her company had some problems. How can we trouble her at this time? Dr. Smith, I have resolved the matter with my company. What is the issue that the medical association is facing? You tell her since you got her to come. Barney had thought he could solve this problem himself. However, he was shocked to see just how many issues there were after coming here. What are you doing, Dr. Smith? Sophie is the future heir of the medical association. She clearly needs to be informed when a problem arises, Arius answered. Sophie is a talented person. Maybe she can solve the problem after learning about it. Go on. Stop wasting time. Just tell me what the problem is, and I'll see if I can solve it. Okay. Only a few members of the International Medical Association came, and the rest chose to stay in Englander. Arius did not beat around the bush. They were seriously short of members now. I see. Sophie had considered this problem before, as many people held prejudices against Chon-A-E-A. They still believed it was a developing nation. Naturally, they could not give up their comfortable conditions in Englander. This was expected. Furthermore, they don't acknowledge our International Medical Association here. They want to split up. It would be fine if they simply did not want to come. However, they wanted to kick them out of the International Medical Association and lead it themselves. Barney, who had been listening at the side, too, felt pretty disappointed. He founded the International Medical Association, and he recruited those people one by one. Barney did not expect them to ultimately disregard his judgment and come to such a decision. They did not even let him know about it. Truth be told, Barney could accept it regardless of the outcome. However, it was very disrespectful for them to do such a matter without even informing him. Sophie, I overestimated my place in their hearts. Don't worry. Since I've come here, I'll handle this matter. Seeing his helpless look, Sophie walked over and patted his shoulder. Dr. Smith, you don't have to worry about this. Didn't some of them still come? They still have their trust in you. But they won't be able to support the International Medical Association. Arius was speaking the truth. A large number of talents were required, as the International Medical Association had been conducting research on some special human diseases. They could not keep the association running with the few people they had. Arius, have you forgotten where you are now? You're in Chon-A-A. There has never been a shortage of people here, Sophie said. Chon-A-A was different from before. Now, the medical science in Chon-A-A was also extremely advanced. As long as these doctors and those who were studying medicine were given a chance, she believed that these people would be able to do it. So, put out a notice that we are recruiting. It's fine if no one comes. It's not like we can't conduct the research ourselves if that's the case, Sophie added. Barney nodded in agreement. That's right. I can create another International Medical Association since I have created one. How could he be discouraged? Besides, Sophie was here. They could definitely do it. Arius nodded his head, seeing that they were so confident. Anyhow, I have no problem doing whatever you guys want me to do. He wasn't qualified to speak in front of those two. In that case, he thought it would be best for him to stay silent. You can say whatever you have in mind. Ultimately, Barney decided to pay his mentee some attention. Otherwise, the latter would begin to doubt himself. Arius was his protégé, after all. Barney had to show Arius some concern to prevent him from developing a mental illness. What else can I say? I'll just do whatever the two of you tell me to do. You don't love me anymore anyway. I was never as well treated as Sophie was in the past. Stumped, Barney scratched his nose. That's because Sophie is more talented than you. Besides, she was never interested in the medical field in the first place. If I don't treat her better and she gives up on learning medicine, that'll be a great loss for the medical community. All I do for the sake of humankind's health. Why can't Arius understand my great nobility? Arius was rendered speechless. Once again, he felt hurt. Dr. Smith, I know how fond you are of Sophie. Still, you don't have to hurt me in this manner. Is it really appropriate for him to speak these words in front of me? What about my pride and dignity? Arius, you're a grown man. Why are you behaving like a young lady? A man should be tougher. Moreover, you must listen to Sophie and execute whatever she tells you to do. She's her only junior. Why can't he dote on her more? Did you hear that? Dr. Smith told you to listen to me. So, from now on, you'll have to do whatever I say. Understand? Sophie chuckled. She could sense how caring Barney and Arius were toward her. The two were no different from her family. Arius remained quiet, as he didn't want to say a word. Have I not been treating her well enough? I can even offer her my life. How else can I treat her better? That's enough. Let's not discuss this matter further. There are still some students at the University of Medicine who are not bad. We won't force them since they don't want to come. We'll just have to cultivate our own members. Sophie decided they didn't have to compromise because of that issue. Okay, I'll make the necessary arrangements. Although Arius uttered those words, he was diligent and thorough in carrying out his duties. Is there anything that requires my assistance? Tristan also wanted to lend them a helping hand, especially the International Medical Association, since that connection might come in handy in the future. That's not needed. There's nothing you can do to help. At moments like that, Arius felt delighted. So what if Tristan is capable? He's not useful in situations like this. Tristan ignored Arius. He's already in his 30s. How is he still so immature? Mr. Tristan, your only task is to take good care of Sophie. We'll handle the rest, Barney chirped. As Sophie's boyfriend, naturally, Tristan only had to watch over Sophie. Okay. I will accomplish this task without letting you all down, Tristan uttered with a smile. Nevertheless, that was a highly challenging mission, as Sophie's diet was very unsatisfactory. She was too skinny for someone with a height of 170 centimeters. She weighed at most 90 pounds. Taking in the three men's harmonious interaction, Sophie felt utterly contented. She was very pleased because everything in her life was truly fine now. How I hope things will stay this way forever. Sophie held a glass of warm water and took occasional sips of the drink while looking at the trio, who were chatting. Despite being a foreigner, Barney would occasionally speak a few Chinean sentences. As for Tristan and Arius, they were fluent in Austronesian. The trio used both Austronesian and Chinean in their conversation. Meanwhile, after seeing the notice published by the International Medical Association, the students at the University of Medicine engaged in heated discussions about that topic. They had always known that the International Medical Association would be moving its headquarters to Chennai. Still, that was an unreachable height for them. Unexpectedly, the International Medical Association was recruiting new members. Oh my! What should I do? I've never expected to be in a position so close to joining the ranks of the International Medical Association. That had always been a far-fetched dream, but now, there was a chance for the ambition to be realized. You should quit fantasizing. I heard they are recruiting because most of the members of the International Medical Association are not willing to come here. If most of them aren't willing to migrate over, the International Medical Association won't be as prestigious as before anymore. What's that nonsense? Since the International Medical Association is moving to Chon-A-E-A, Dr. Smith will also be here. Even if those people aren't willing to come, there shouldn't be any problem as long as Dr. Smith and Professor Gulliver are here. Are we that inferior compared to other foreign countries? Chon-A-E-A is such a wonderful place, not to mention the standards of our medical skills are relatively advanced, and we have attained a first-class level in that area. That's right. I think so too. The International Medical Association will achieve greater heights after moving to Chon-A-E-A. Our nation prioritizes healthcare, after all. Sophie heard her classmates discussing those issues when she entered. Sandra approached her. Sophie, the International Medical Association is recruiting new members. Are you going to give that a try? I'm considering applying. Sandra was very enthusiastic. Sandra, know your limits. Don't you know your own level? If you can enter the International Medical Association, I'll spell my name backward, Greta uttered smugly. Greta was full of herself after becoming Charles's girlfriend. She would disregard others' feelings whenever she spoke. Sandra glared at Greta. How do my achievements concern you? Greta, aren't you only focused on dating men? Someone like you can never understand my train of thought. People like Greta did not have a dream and only aimed to marry a wealthy man. The audacity of an unambitious person like Greta to make fun of me. Ha! What a joke. Do you call that a dream? I think you're just daydreaming. Greta continued to mock Sandra. Sophie glanced at her. Can you shut up? I feel uncomfortable just listening to your voice, Sophie said. This Greta thinks too highly of herself. Ignore her, Sandra. Someone like her wouldn't know a thing about having a life goal. I'll register with you. I'm also interested in joining the International Medical Association. Even if we are not shortlisted, it'll be a great experience if we could meet with Dr. Smith or Professor Gulliver. Our aims can be so simple at times. Greta clenched her fists. What do you mean by that, Simon? Someone like me? What about someone like me? Who are you to look down on me? I shall look forward to you being forced to behave subserviently toward me after I marry Charles. I look down on you because you're a trash, said Simon rudely. He hated girls like Greta. Ha! I think you're just jealous of me because I'm Charles's girlfriend. Does Charles know about this? Can you afford to offend him? Listen, you better not provoke me, or I'll make my boyfriend teach you a lesson. Greta tried her best to calm down. Simon is just jealous. I liked him for so long, yet he didn't respond to my feelings at all. Now that I have a boyfriend better than him, he's feeling terrible. Well, I don't have to do anything. I just need to cling to Charles. Also, you all want to join the International Medical Association, right? Let's wait and see who will get to do that first. Considering the Quigley family's status, it would be a piece of cake for Greta to join the International Medical Association. All she had to do was to tell Charles. Sandra was rendered speechless by Greta. She did not know where the latter got her confidence. If someone so incompetent as Greta gets to be part of the International Medical Association, I'll change my last name. Greta, it's not that I'm looking down on you, but you better not go there and embarrass yourself. I heard that many people from other countries will be attending the recruitment this time. If someone like you goes there, you'll be a disgrace to our country, Sandra piped up. How could Greta not have any sense of collective honor? When Greta heard Sandra, her face contorted with rage. She snapped. Sandra, who do you think you are? Who are you to discipline me? Do you think Sophie can give you anything just because you're riding on her coattails? Sandra never dared to talk to me like this before. It's because of Sophie that she's being so arrogant now. Greta, are you done? Haven't you learned your lesson during your stay in prison last time? Sophie uttered. She was very displeased with Greta's attitude towards Sandra. At the mention of the incident last time, Greta felt nervous. Although she had only stayed there for 15 days, it was quite an unforgettable experience. The prison was a terrifying place. Okay, I'm not going to waste my breath on you guys. I'd like to see who'll get to join the International Medical Association in the end. Greta taunted before turning around to leave. They all look down on me, huh? It doesn't matter. I'm going to humiliate these people when I enter the International Medical Association. With Greta gone, a smile finally appeared on Sandra's face. Where do you think she got her confidence? The International Medical Association was a prestigious association for medical students. Sandra and the others would not allow someone like Greta to stain its reputation. Barney was a person of principle. If the aspirant did not fit the requirements of the association, they would not be able to enter it regardless of their background and wealth. It was ridiculous that Greta thought she could join the International Medical Association with the help of Charles. Sophie said, "All right, that's enough. Let's not care about someone irrelevant. She's just here to seek attention. I'm surprised you two are interested in joining the International Medical Association. Prepare for it well. Sandra and Simon have been studying hard recently, and they are doing quite well. There's a chance that they can achieve their goal." Simon looked at Sophie in disbelief. "Sophie, what do you mean? Are you not going to join? This is a wonderful opportunity. It's the dream of many people to be part of that association." Sophie is extremely talented. If she joins the recruitment, she will definitely be chosen. You two go ahead and sign up. "I don't need to do that," Sophie said. Barney had especially moved the medical association here for her sake. Naturally, she would be joining. A student at the side couldn't help but scoff when she heard Sophie. "Sophie, you're scared, aren't you? You're scared of getting embarrassed if you fail to enter the International Medical Association." As always, there were clueless people. No one wanted to bother with her, yet she still tactlessly tried to make her presence known. "It's none of your business," Sophie retorted without hesitation. Meanwhile, Greta went straight to Quigley Group. The reason she wanted to enter the International Medical Association was not that she was eager to learn about medicine. She just thought it would be a good chance to humiliate Sophie and the others if she got to join it while they didn't. Unexpectedly, she was stopped by the security at the entrance. "I'm Charles's girlfriend. I need to talk to him. Let me in." Never in Greta's dreams did she imagine she would be stopped here. Obviously, she was upset. "I'm the future wife of their boss. How can they be so obtuse? Remember my name. I'm Greta Soros, the future wife of your boss." Upon hearing her, the security guards exchanged glances. "Miss, are you daydreaming? Do you even hear yourself?" One of them sneered. "Why are there so many weirdos nowadays? Even a random girl dares to come to Quigley Group and spout nonsense. What did you say? You don't believe me? Listen, I'm telling the truth." Slowly, people started gathering around and watched Greta as if they were looking at a madwoman. Noticing their gazes, Greta felt embarrassed. No matter what she said, no one believed her. "I'm telling the truth. You." At that moment, Charles came downstairs. He was heading to Lombard Group, and he didn't expect to see Greta in the lobby. He was already sick of Greta after spending some time with her. Charles had to admit he seemed to have made a bad choice this time. It hadn't even been 2 weeks, but he was feeling bored already. Whenever he saw Greta now, he found her to be a nuisance. At the sight of Charles, Greta waved at him. However, he walked out of the building as if he didn't see her at all. "Miss, did you see that? Mr. Quigley didn't mind you at all. I think it's time you give up on your dreams," a guard advised. Charles was the man of dreams for many girls, so they understood why Greta was acting like this. In a hurry, Greta ran after Charles. "Is he annoyed because I came here to look for him? Then I won't do that anymore. But why does he have to do this? His attitude is so hurtful." Before Charles got into his car, Greta caught up to him. Charles, what is the meaning of this? Do you not like it when I visit you here? If that's the case, I won't come here again. Don't be mad at me, okay? Greta was anxious. She had finally managed to get close to Charles, so she couldn't possibly give up just like that. Greta, I don't think I like you. I only liked the version of you in my imagination. Perhaps it was because everyone around me was having a relationship, which made me think it was okay to have a relationship with a university student. However, I don't seem to have feelings for you anymore, so stop looking for me. Charles spoke in an extremely cold-hearted manner. That was just the kind of person he was. He could be in a relationship when he wanted to. At the same time, he wouldn't hesitate to end the relationship when he was no longer interested. Greta was at a loss for words. It hadn't even been 2 weeks since they started dating. Is he bored with me already? Did I do something wrong? You can tell me and I will change. I will make sure you'll be satisfied. I really like you. I don't want to break up with you. Droplets of tears dripped down her face as she spoke. How did it come to this? Greta had been full of joy when she came over. Yet, in the blink of an eye, she got to experience just how ruthless Charles could be. He took out a card and tucked it into her palm. If this is what you want, I'll give it to you. Still, I have already told you clearly that I no longer like you, so don't come looking for me in the future. He wouldn't waste a single moment with someone he didn't like. Is he insulting me? What should I do? Greta didn't want to lose the card in her hand. It was the last thing she got from him. If she lost it, she would have nothing. Charles opened the car door. Did you hear me clearly? Greta felt exceedingly bitter. You clearly like me a lot, no? Did Sophie say something to you? Didn't I tell you? What she said wasn't true. What happened between him and me was just a tiny misunderstanding. He's prejudiced against me. It must be Sophie. Otherwise, he wouldn't suddenly want a breakup when everything was going so well. Charles stared at her in silence. Does she not understand what I said? What does this have anything to do with Sophie? Didn't I tell you? I just don't like you anymore. It's that simple. Besides, Sophie would never say anything behind others' backs. He could sense that none of the others liked Greta. However, it was clear to him now that the others weren't wrong. It was his own foolishness. Don't bother Sophie because of this. If you do, Mr. Tristan won't forgive you. Doesn't she know her place? The audacity of her to blame Sophie for the breakup. Charles left, leaving Greta standing alone. Greta had thought she could enter the International Medical Association through Charles. Little did she expect him to break up with her. She stood alone, shivering amid the ice-cold winds. How did things turn out like this? After the last class in the afternoon, while Sandra and Simon were still doing some analysis in the laboratory, Sophie walked out alone, as she still had to look for Barney and the others to discuss matters with the recruitment. Unexpectedly, as soon as she walked out, she bumped into Greta, who had her makeup ruined. She looked horrific, as if she was a ghost. For someone like Sophie, who had seen all kinds of things, she was unsurprisingly calm when she saw Greta in her sorry state. Stop right there, Sophie. Greta had stood up and stopped Sophie when she saw her leaving. Greta, do we have some sort of misunderstanding? Do I look like a good-tempered person to you? Is that why you have the audacity to get in my way again and again? Indeed, Greta feared Sophie. However, she was still resentful and felt especially aggrieved. Sophie, I know you don't like me, but I finally got together with Charles. Can you leave me alone and stop spouting nonsense in front of him? Sophie frowned. Charles. Did I say anything to Charles? I don't know what you're talking about. In fact, I am busy right now, and I don't have the time to entertain you. You should clean up yourself and avoid scaring other people. Sophie wasn't frightened by her appearance only because she was brave. However, the same couldn't be said for the other students. Sophie, I'm aware of the many mistakes I've made. I shouldn't have provoked you. What I did was wrong, but I really can't live without Charles. Can you? Sophie was rendered speechless. What does your relationship with Charles have anything to do with me? Stop bothering me. Charles is a total playboy, and many have fallen before him. However, Greta is delusional enough to consider herself an exception. She believes she's the love of his life and that he will change because of her. Now that things have come to this point, there's nothing anyone can do. Besides, they aren't compatible in the first place. Even now that she came crying to me, I won't sympathize with her. Sophie walked away, and Greta was left standing alone, crying even more miserably. Sophie was truly apathetic. They were classmates after all, but she couldn't care less about her situation. She was indeed a haughty girl. Sophie walked out and saw Tristan's car parked outside. Before she got to the car, Tristan got out of the car and opened the door for her. Why did you come so early? He must have waited for quite a while. It's all right. I wanted to see you sooner. Tristan could now utter such sweet words easily. He opened the car door for her and led her into the car. The inside of the vehicle was warmed to a desirable temperature, and Sophie felt much more comfortable after getting into the car. Audiotales place, right? She's been busy with the recruitment recently, so she should be going there. By the way, did you know Charles broke up with his girlfriend? That soon. Well, in any case, Greta isn't the right one for him. Tristan wasn't surprised at all. Yeah. Sophie didn't say much about it. Although she didn't like Greta, talking behind someone's back was just not her thing. That was also the reason she never said anything to Charles. Did she pester you? Well, if she didn't, you wouldn't have known about it, right? Yeah. She came to me, but I ignored her. I refused to waste my time with such people. Sophie would rather spend her time with people she cared about. She wouldn't allow anyone insignificant to waste even a second of her time. When they arrived at Audiotales place, he had already prepared a barbecue feast. He didn't cook often, but he could still put together a barbecue spread. When he saw them coming in, he happily welcomed them. Come on in. We'll be having grilled lamb for dinner. Is it edible? Tristan questioned. Isn't Audiotales only good at performing surgery? Can he even cook? Audiotales was rendered speechless. Why is he so rude? You can leave if you don't want to eat. I would love to eat your portion. Come on in, Sophie. You can ignore him. Nobody invited him. He's just tagging along, yet he even dared to comment on my cooking. How annoying. I'll have a bite or two since we're already here. Tristan strode in. I'm here to accompany Sophie, anyway. Barney rose to greet Tristan as the latter approached, leaving Audiotales fuming behind. Very uncool of them to come at me one at a time. How could they treat me like this? What's wrong? Sophie was amused at the sight of him sulking again. Since you know you are no match for him, why do you always pick a fight with him? Although they were both men with brains and poise, it was a different story when they met. They would become exceptionally childish. How am I picking a fight with him? I went through all this trouble to prepare a barbecue for you guys. And isn't it too much of him to say such a thing? Tell me the truth instead of covering for him because he's your boyfriend. Sophie was rendered speechless. All right, don't get all worked up. Let's have some barbecue. It's a good day for grilled meat as it's chilly. Fine. For your sake, I'll let this slide. I cannot hold a grudge against Tristan. Besides, it would be no use, as none of them would take my side. Since there is an opportunity to save face, I will take it. The foursome sat huddled around the grill and watched their lamb cook. It was Barney's first time having a meal like that, and he was excited. Really, Chilean food is delicious. No matter what ingredients get into your hands, you have a way to turn it into a feast. Having come from Englander, he was sick of the fast food he was accustomed to. Don't worry, Dr. Smith. We won't let you starve. Audiotales, too, had grown tired of fast food in Englander. I must taste every delicious item Chonea has to offer on this trip. Otherwise, I would be doing my past self, living on fast food in Englander, a severe disservice. I also think our Chilean cuisine is the best out of all the countries. Although Sophie was not particularly gluttonous, she would not be able to handle having fast food for every meal. Using a pair of tongs, Tristan placed some lamb onto the grill. The flames flickered beneath. It was a pleasant meal with them, and he enjoyed the atmosphere of their company. Upon noticing that the lamb was ready, Barney took it off the flame. As he liked to eat lamb, he thought highly of it. Furthermore, Arius had procured an exceptionally fresh batch for the occasion, which contributed to its flavor. "Let's have some wine," Arius suggested all of a sudden. It had been a busy period for all of them to properly sit and have a meal together. "Sure. I bought a bottle of red wine some time ago. Let's open that," Barney said. Arius raised his brows. "Barbecue with red wine? Are you sure? Why does Dr. Smith have to be so unorthodox? What's wrong with that? I bought that bottle, so I shall have it as I see fit. Besides, is there a rule against having red wine with barbecue?" Barney retorted. "Nobody ever said that." "All right, I'll go get it." Arius rose to fetch the bottle and poured each of the four a glass. Sophie raised her glass. "Let me make a toast to you, my mentor. Thank you for all you have done for me. If it were not for me, Dr. Smith would not have faced that much pressure. He must be unaccustomed to many things from traveling all this way alone. Yet he came anyway without regard for any of that." Barney raised his glass as well. "To hear you call me your mentor made everything worth it." Having devoted his life to the study of medicine, Barney would make any sacrifice for the cause of furthering mankind's understanding of it. Sophie took a sip of red wine before saying, "Don't worry. I will conduct my research in earnest." She, too, had fallen in love with the study of medicine, which was her reason for joining the International Medical Association. "I believe the International Medical Association in Chonea will thrive with you two here. Those who did not come will one day regret it. After all, every student of medicine wishes to contribute to the field by leaving their mark on the pages of our progress. With Sophie around, such a possibility is only more certain." Arius raised his glass of wine as well. "Leave the grunt work to me. Both of you have nothing to worry about. One is a young girl, and the other is an elderly man. I cannot let them work too hard." "All right. Your promise showed me that my affection for you has not been in vain. Arius has matured. He does whatever I ask of him." Tristan raised his glass too. "Here's to the success of the International Medical Association of Chonea in advance." The four of them clinked glasses. It was those four who would save Chonea from many disasters in the decades to come and completely transform Chilea's standing in the medical field. However, all those things lay ahead of them. At the present, their biggest problem remained the matter of recruitment. "By the way, many have signed up after we put out the word that we're recruiting. We need to give the matter of selecting the right people some thought. As many were interested, some effort was required to find the ones who were genuinely suitable. It's all right. There's no rush for this. There is no use in rushing things like these, so it's best to take it slow. All right. Dr. Smith and I will be in charge of this. Come over for a look when you have the time to." As she was still a freshman, her obligations at the university were, at times, overwhelming. "I will come over to lend a hand as soon as I can. I cannot wholly rely on both of them for this." "All right, but don't overexert yourself. Your boyfriend will not like it," Arius said as he gave Tristan a sly look. "This petty man has cruel tricks up his sleeve. It will complicate our lives if he's not appeased. Be grateful to remain alive, Arius. Why do you always like to provoke me?" Arius was struck dumb. "You saw it yourself, Sophie. He's threatening me now. How can you tolerate the existence of such a person? I am your senior, you know. You have to take my side on this." Ignoring him, Tristan slipped Sophie some grilled vegetables. "These vegetables are delicious. Have some more." Arius took a deep breath. Am I being ignored again? He decided not to speak anymore as he watched Sophie eat her vegetables. Forget it. I'm a pathetic bachelor, anyway. How can I go up against them? Emerging from Arias' mansion after dinner, Tristan and Sophie ambled out as they were not far from Tristan's. They were planning on staying the night there, so they took their time and took a leisurely walk back.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.